Welcome to the Hyperledger virtual booth. Thank you for stopping by to learn more about Hyperledger and what our community has been up to. Over the next few minutes, I'll be highlighting 4 things that you can do at our consensus distributed virtual booth. We wish we could see you in person in New York City, but sincerely hope that our booth can provide you with valuable virtual experience. Let's get started with 4 easy steps. 1 is to learn more about the Hyperledger community and how to interact with us during this week. Then, I will show you how to find more information across all our Hyperledger projects. Learning how to get involved in an open source community is a common question we get at events like this. So we'll give you some tips on how you can do that from anywhere around the world. And last, a pointer to some real production use cases that our Hyperledger member companies have already in production. There's always a lot going on in our global community, and we hope that this virtual booth will give you an opportunity to learn more about the developers, individuals, and companies that are globally involved. From this virtual booth page, click right above this video and click on website link to go to the Hyperledger Consensus 2020 page. Once that page opens up in a new browser, you'll be able to see a couple of things. The first is our live booth hours. While we can't be there in person, we have gathered our staff and members from around the world to be available to talk to you. Daily in both East Coast Standard Time and Hong Kong time, companies including Hyperledger members like Adoriasoft, Cognizant, Conduit, PwC, and more will be available to answer questions and talk to you about their use and services using various Hyperledger projects. In addition to the chat feature umbrella here at the booth, if you join our virtual live Zoom meetings, you can meet others, but also go into private meeting rooms if you want to have one-on-one discussions with either Hyperledger staff or our member companies who are volunteering at the booth at the time to get all your questions answered. Once you're done talking to us live, you can also learn more about how Hyperledger is being used with over 20 videos from companies like Chainyard, IBM, Oracle, and Zoa, all Hyperledger member companies who have commercial solutions using Hyperledger. Simply click on any video to learn more about that use case. Once you learn about the Hyperledger community, you can start drilling into the Hyperledger projects. Today, there are 16 projects. Yes, on the screen you only see 15 because one was just approved last week and still doesn't have a logo. The Hyperledger Greenhouse covers distributed ledgers, libraries, and tools, and an active and growing labs program. All projects are available as an open source code and communities for anyone to use and participate in. We have gathered some short project videos in the YouTube playlist that you can access either via the booth links or by visiting the bit.ly URL on this page. You can also visit our YouTube channel. Okay, now you know about the community and you're starting to learn more about our projects. Now, how do you get involved? Getting involved in an open source community is new to many people who engage with Hyperledger at events like this. So we've put together a short primer to get you started. Once you're finished with this video, click the arrow in the carousel until you see the Welcome to Hyperledger Learn How to Get Involved video. This 15-minute video takes you through the basics of open source communities and how to get involved with Hyperledger, regardless of where you are around the world. Don't have time to watch it now? Make sure you favorite it for future views. Great, you've made it this far. By now, you have a good idea of our community and how you can get involved. Another good way to learn about how these technologies are being used is to understand how real companies are using the technology. We have bundled 7 different comprehensive case studies from companies like Honeywell, Walmart, the government of British Columbia, Change Healthcare, and more. Simply swipe right in this carousel and click to download your copy of the PDF. All are welcome to join us. Please leave your questions in the booth chat or reach out to a company representative listed below in the virtual booth. If you have any questions on how your company can also become a Hyperledger member, please do check out the membership deck in the carousel or send your questions to membership@hyperledger.org. Thank you.